They don't even care about their kid. They care about the perception of having a kid that's behind. I'm Mike Andes. I'm the founder of Augusta Lawn Care. We have over 150 locations and we travel around the country fixing small businesses.
It seems like we paying the business. Like, what is going on? So my head is like, you better run. But then my heart is like, I don't know we've accomplished our mission here yet.
My biggest concerns when I look at her numbers is the fact that between 2 locations, only $330,000 in annual revenue.
But he's like, does it make sense financially? I'm like, it doesn't make sense financially, but my heart is still connected.
If you actually care, just tell people how much you care. Because you do. Like, otherwise, if this was just a transaction, you'd be like, let's just get out of this. This can be very, very difficult. So we've got to find a way to either increase the amount of revenue.
I shouldn't have to bend your arm for you to know your kid needs support. Like, I don't want to be that person. That's the hard part. It's like my head and my heart are going back and forth.
Because it seems like you're just kind of burnt out on it.
I'm burnt out.
Because they're losing money, they're not profitable, and she's thinking about trying to sell them.
If it's over, I'm okay if the season is over. We can sell it and be done.
Let's see if we can turn this thing around.
Y'all just pray for me. Pray for the sister. Pray for the sister.
Okay, so we're pulling up here. I'm noticing this is in a really nice area. There's a Sephora, there's a Nordstrom Rack, there's a Kava. Like, this is prime real estate. I know that this rent is gonna be extremely expensive. And in a fixed expense business like this, where the lease is such a big piece of it, that's not good news. Hey,
Hi,
how's it going?
Good to see you in
as
person.
well.
My name is Yemisi Akinea, and I own Mathnasium Franchises, which are a math-only learning center.
So how long have you been at this location?
This is our 10th year.
This one?
This one.
And then you started the second one, how long after?
That one is 5 years this year. So this location is called Mathnasium of Woodmore, and then the second location is in Bowie. That's Mathnasium of Bowie.
And what's the rent on this location per square foot?
You really wanna know?
I'm gonna guess.
Well, per square foot.
Let me guess. It's gonna be $24 a square foot. I'm gonna guess.
First year was amazing. We were shocked. I think within the first 3 months, we already broke even. I calculated how much we've paid in 10 years to rent, 1-point-something million. And I'm like, I could have had a whole building. I could have owned a building, but 2017, 2018, that's when things kind of stalled. And we were like, what's going on? And then I was hearing other owners talk about possibly opening in our county. You know, the direct competition was kind of like, okay, we need to do this. If we're gonna open a second one, this is the time to open it. And that was 2019, right before COVID.
Before COVID, was there a lot more students?
And we survived. We know some centers that could not come back. And I think part of our survival was instantly we knew, get everybody online. And then when the county shut us down, all of our kids were online. Unfortunately, not every center was able to do that, but since then, we haven't been able to recover.
I'm actually here inside of the gym that I own in Blaine, Washington, Anytime Fitness. And we also went through COVID, had to shut down for several months, still paid the lease, still paid the rent. It was horrible.
When COVID hit, it was surprising because a lot of owners that we didn't expect to closed. Like, these were people that I was looking up to, and COVID really showed like, you're still vulnerable to life.
But ultimately, you have to get back on track, go full sales mode, and recover from that kind of injury.
This center has about
50 students. That one is around 25.
25. And each center easily could hold about 150 per center.
Was this like 100 before COVID?
It was close. It was like 80 something. I think we hit 90 and then COVID hit and everything went down. That was hard. That was very hard. But the Lord, when I say we went through, my mom passed from COVID, her oxygen levels would get better. So we thought, okay, she's gonna make it through. And then they said her heart, it was doing so much work that her heart just stopped. During the whole time that we were closed, shut down, my sister was about to have her baby. I'm dealing with the center closure. My mom, I said, ugh. I'm not 100% ready to sell because I feel like there's more we can do. And I want to make sure we've exhausted everything. Like, we've looked at the price, we've looked at everything, and we've done everything we can do before I say, okay, yes, let's sell. My heart is still connected. I'm like, Lord, if it's over, I'm okay if the season is over, we can sell it and be done. But I feel like there's still something. I just want to give my all and be able to say, I've done everything I can do. But my head, It's like, because we've had an investor reach out and it's like, hey, are you looking to sell your centers?
If you're trying to maximize the valuation or how much you're gonna sell a business for, you wanna sell it when everything is going well, when you have systems in place, when you have great employees, when sales are going up, when revenue and profits are increasing. And a lot of times, entrepreneurs and small business owners, we only ever think of selling our business when everything is falling apart. And that's why most small businesses don't sell, just go out of business or sell for pennies on the dollar.
So my head is like, you better do it. But then my heart is like, I don't know, we've accomplished our mission here yet.
So what does accomplishing the mission look like?
Reached as many kids as we can in this community, because 10 years ago, our story is crazy. 10 years ago, there were no mathnasiums in this county. And then I heard an ad on the radio for mathnasium. And at that time, the catch was, come to mathnasium, the workout for your brain. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I just was like, that is so cute. And my husband and I had to drive an hour out to get math support for my daughter. Within the first 2 months, she went right back to an A. And I said, what is it that they did here? She was like, Mommy, I don't know, but it makes sense. So we're driving, I'm stuck in traffic, upset, like, why don't I have this in my own neighborhood? And I remember the day, I remember like frustrated, like, why do I have to sit in traffic, drive so long to get math support for my daughter? And I called my husband and I was like, this makes absolutely no sense. I called the owner of her location and I said, why aren't there any in this area? And he said, I don't know, call headquarters. There may be an opportunity. And he gave me the phone number. He's like, contact HQ, ask them, why don't you have any in your county? I called. They said, well, we do have an opportunity, but no one has ever inquired. So if you're interested, you have to fly out to LA, meet the owners. And that's what my husband and I did.
Yeah.
And here we are 10 years later. Yes, there's some level of, you have to be transparent. He has to see your numbers, which to me, if you need help, that shouldn't be something you're hiding, especially if you're looking for true help. And then how would you know, like, when it's time to sell, right? Like, you have multiple businesses. How do you know when this is it?
Building your business as if you're going to sell it, even if you're not planning on it, is really a good strategy. Because if you got hit by a bus, you'd probably have the systems in place to be able to run without you. If you decided to sell, you'd be able to pass it along to the new business owner with systems, training, and procedures. And if you decided to keep it, it'd probably run more profitably with or without you.
I'm assuming this location is kind of like the trophy in terms of real estate.
This is baby number one.
And then that's the stepchild.
That's the stepchild.
Got it. Okay, I got you.
But the data shows that we could probably command more money at that one.
I'm assuming that rent though is like half. Like if you can get fixed costs down in this kind of business model, that's where like you don't even need as many students, but you make more money because your fixed expenses are so much lower. So here at Anytime Fitness, we are also part of a franchise. And the thing that's similar with Mathnasium is once you pay for the rent and the utilities for this building, that's a lot of your costs. Those are fixed expenses, which means they don't change based upon how many members are inside of here. So my goal is just fill this place up, get as many people inside of here as possible to make more money. When to sell a business, the number one thing comes around if you're not passionate about it. I feel like you're still passionate about this to some extent, but it's also really difficult to be passionate about something when you're losing money on it.
I think I got paid January 23 last year. I think that was the last time I paid myself, just so everybody else can get paid. Like, so my husband's like, boo, it seems like we paying the business. Like, what is going
Really be about potentially finding a buyer that actually does care. Sometimes it's tough because if it's more of an investor type, they're just looking at it as like a spreadsheet.
That's right.
Then it's a matter like, well, and my customers won't be taken care of and there won't be a face and it's not gonna be any improvement for them. That's a challenge, especially because you have the emotional tie to what it did for you and your child.
And I feel like these investor types are just gonna come out and like revamp the whole thing, make a whole bunch of money, but it's not gonna be about the student anymore. It's gonna be how much can I get out of this family, you know? So that's the hard part. It's like my head and my heart are going back and forth. The passion I had 10 years ago hasn't died. Like there's still that, you know, on the stove or the fireplace, that little, what is it, that light thing, the pilot light, is still like flickering.
Because it seems like you're just kind of burnt out on it.
I'm burnt out. But then my thought process is, well, you got time to turn it around and then sell it.
The question is it worth that time investment for you? Because it's going to take like redoing everyone's incentives, redoing compensation, redoing your marketing, actually getting in front of the camera, like getting a lead process, a sales process in place.
If you're trying to maximize the valuation or how much you're going to sell your business for, you're going to want to make sure that the numbers look good. Revenue is going up, profits are increasing, there's systems, procedures, great people, there's training in place.
I think it's really good information if you implement. You know, we can get all this knowledge, but if you don't implement, then you're still gonna be in the same boat, or worse, you may close your business. I honestly don't know what the best, I don't wanna say lead magnet, but I don't know what the best source is to get them in. HQ has looked at my like reports and stuff, and they're like, you have a really high retention rate, like they stay, but the issue is getting them to come. Like we need to figure out how to get them in the door, because when they get in and they start going through the program, they stay.
Sometimes though, your retention rate will actually be inflated simply because you're not getting new customers. And they're the ones most susceptible to leaving. Because if you have customers that have been around with you for 3-6 months or years, they're not going anywhere. But if you're getting new ones, those are the hardest ones to actually keep and then going on, right?
It's awesome to have outsiders look into your business, right? When you're in your business, you don't see like the very minute, do this, do that. Like you don't see that because you're in it every single day. But when you have fresh set of eyes, they're like, oh, all you gotta do is do that. Change this thing, change that. You're like, oh, I didn't notice that.
You can become the face of this brand without being here. You can be the person that is literally pitching what happened for you, what Mathnasium did for you, you're trying to give back to this community. That is super powerful. Like, and then to have your daughter be like, she just graduated with like great grades and all the rest of it. Like, tell your story. That will do so much more for a parent in this local area than seeing this stupid sign out here that says Mathnasium. But the sign doesn't sell, it's you. They're gonna buy because a mom in their local area had the same problem they had and it was fixed by this. Don't be afraid to market and advertise at your size. Instead of trying to think like a big business with big ads and big budgets, look, you're just getting started. Be the face of the brand, be the face of the company, and make ads that way.
So that's funny you said that, because I was like, maybe I should take my face off the website and then say like there's been a change of management. Because I do know some people are not thrilled with my approach.
In this case, Yemisi would actually do a whole lot better if she just marketed to the moms in her local area and came across as a local mom. The only way right now we're reaching people is if they type in the word tutoring in this area. And so they're gonna compare you against every other tutor. Not every other tutor has your story.
Right? And sometimes I feel, and I know, you know, as a business owner, you gotta take your emotions out, but sometimes I feel like they don't know like the sacrifice we made. And,
but then tell your story.
You know?
You could literally say, this is what happened to my child. This is what Mathnasium did for them. Here's the result of that. If you actually care, just tell people how much you care. Because you do. Like, otherwise, if this was just a transaction, you'd be like, let's just get out of this. This is not making money. I'm traveling all the time. I'm working part-time, basically for free. Like, there's a lot of other things you could be doing.
I could be doing. You're right. So that's why we keep sitting down like, okay, what do we want to do? And my husband, God bless his heart, he's like, I know your heart is still in it. I know your heart is still in it. But he's like, does it make sense financially? I'm like, it doesn't make sense financially, but my heart is still connected.
And you sharing your experience would be super powerful. If you did that in front of a camera and it drove to a Calendly to book a call with you on Zoom, you would sell people like hotcakes.
I hate being in front of the camera, but the Lord has rebuked me on that. Like, stop running from the camera.
That's the thing. Like, you don't even have to overthink it. I actually think a really, really homegrown video would be great. Like, literally just camera in front, like with you, like being like, okay, talk. Would be perfect. You making a couple ums and ahs, making a mistake or two, no music, no captions. Just like,
real.
hey, this is another mom, I live in your area, this is what happened to me, and this is what we're doing at Mathnasium to guarantee your child gets ahead and isn't behind. You'll crush in a video. You wanna do a video right now?
Oh no.
I think it would be great.
God. Yeah, I guess. Like I've heard so many times, you're supposed to be on Instagram, you're supposed to be doing stories, you're supposed to be doing, and I'm thinking, I don't want people in my business. So I'm trying to find the balance of how do I share what's in here and what's in here, but still have like my privacy. It's such a hard balance.
Yeah,
How did I know this was gonna happen? Like,
Okay, so I'm gonna put it on my phone. I can airdrop it to you afterwards, or we can send it to you later.
do I need lip gloss?
You look fantastic. All right, so here, this is what we're gonna do. Is it known for the A+, right?
A+. Oh, how'd you know? That's the logo.
Okay, fantastic. So this is what we're gonna do. Give me a minute long of like what Mathnasium did for me and why I started.
I think I've seen so many people like get online and it's like, you're a phony. Like I can pick up phony so quick and I don't ever want to be called a phony, or I just like my privacy. All right, good morning everyone. My name is Yemisi Akinea. So my daughter that once used to get A's in math started getting B's and got her first C. And so immediately my husband and I knew we had to find support somewhere.
Something I've always lived by is progress over perfection. In other words, you're not gonna get it just right with perfect cameras and lighting and actors when she's trying to make these new ads. I just wanna see progress directionally towards the goal. And instead of trying to wait for everything to be just right, just pick up a camera. Just pick up something and start making ads, start making content, and take action towards the goal.
So here we are 10 years later. My daughter not only graduated early at 17, she graduated with a high school diploma and her associate's degree.
Let's go.
And I think I'm trying to find the balance of being real, but still private. Because I feel, sometimes if you don't show certain parts of your life, people can take that as she's not being authentic.
I want someone that is not price sensitive, that sees a story and then wants the result of your daughter that went through school and did Mathnasium, and they hear your story of how you brought it back to this county locally. Like, that's an awesome story.
I don't think we've ever shared it publicly.
That is the brand. Like, if you think about the brand, that's what Mathnasium's all about.
I think Yemisi might be looking too far off to find the solution. She is the ideal customer. She was price insensitive. She could care less how much it costs to fix that problem for her daughter. We need to find more people like her.
And I know, as they've grown, you feel like they may have gone more like the business route, but like the story and the reason why you're even holding on this business is because that story. Yeah. You share that with people, they actually she's one of us. She was a mom. She knows to have a struggling student. It's not fun to have a struggling student and be like, you feel like a failure.
And if she's gonna try to find more people like her that have their kids that need help, she's gotta share her story and share that she is also offering the solution to the problem that she used to have.
What else would you do? Like if this was yours, what would you do differently?
Oh, this has become a sales organization, right? Like our product is two things. It is one, allowing the parent to go do something else, knowing their child is doing something productive.
Yeah.
Right? That's the glorified daycare. The second part is we're gonna make your kid a genius, right? And a genius might be going from grade 4 to grade 5 level, or not being behind or whatever it is, but that's the product. How do I sell that is I'm gonna guarantee it. People are not coming here because they want their kid to do their homework, right? They're coming here because either A, they don't wanna see their kid and they wanna go shopping, or B, they're tired of their parent, of being the parent that has a kid in school that's way behind everyone else. Mm-hmm. They don't even care about their kid. They care about the perception as a parent of having a kid that's behind. Look, sometimes the mom is simply going to buy the tutoring for them to feel like a good mom. The same way here at the gym, there's people that buy a gym membership, never show up again, simply because they want to be perceived as someone who is healthy and living a good lifestyle. Perception is everything. So the thing that's so unique, I think, about this business is it's a fixed cost business, which means we have rent, which covers is huge, and utilities that basically aren't gonna change. And then we have the cost of an instructor. And so what's unique about that model is you can make crazy offers. For example, with lawn care, if I get one new customer, 50% of that revenue is gonna be going to direct costs, which is variable, which is wages and cost of goods. Because I don't have a building, but I do have a laborer that has to go out to their property and actually do the work. Here though, the incremental cost of having one more student is almost zero. Once you've paid for this building and have an instructor in here, that gives you the flexibility to make crazy offers.
Yeah, if anybody is apprehensive, I would say don't be. It was a great experience. I mean, from Zach, from the first meeting to this meeting, I think everything just ran smoothly. Yeah, it's a great experience. Definitely do it quickly. Because he said the other dates was the end of June. And I didn't want to wait to the end of June. I'm like, we got to make some changes now.
For example, I would really think it's cool to do a couple different offers I thought of. One is like, you guarantee that they will go up 1 grade of math within a certain amount of time. You have to follow the lesson plan, and if you follow the lesson plan and we don't get your child to the 1 grade level above, all your money back. So you could make like a 3-month challenge for $1,000. $9.99, 3-month challenge, and you go all in.
I like that. When you enroll in our program for the 3 months, and the goal is for you to be able to, your student to be able to move up 1 grade ahead. You know, if they don't, then we'll refund you your money, basically.
And if you're like, hey, I don't like the refund option, great. Then you're gonna pay up front and we're gonna guarantee the results or your money back. So for example, like with the software company I have, we guarantee they grow their business or their money back. No one else is doing that. No other tutoring company is like, hey, if your kid doesn't go up a grade, we'll just give you your money back. And then you know, like, that if someone's actually gonna follow the plan you give them, there's no way they can't improve.
I am a little cautious about the 3 months. Could it be done in 3 months? Yes, but also the child can't be that far behind. I'm just thinking about those parents that already know they're gonna ask for a refund. They just wanted their kids in some type of math support just, you know, to get a free 3 months. I'm thinking about those ones.
This is where it comes as a conviction in your product. If you actually believe that if they follow certain steps, they will have an outcome, you can offer a guarantee. And yes, maybe 1 out of 5 people ask for a refund because they do all the steps of the process. But if you actually know that following the steps of the process comes with a predictable outcome, offer a guarantee. You'll get way more sales.
You have to follow the lesson plan. Like if you flunk out, you don't show up, you go to football practice, sorry.
Don't tell me Johnny is sick, too bad. well, don't come up here coughing and hacking, like, don't do that. But jump on virtually, or figure it out, you know? Or maybe give like 1 excused absent or something, you know? 3 months is a long time.
If they don't hit their target, but the parent sees massive improvement, and like we were diligent, they're gonna get there. I know we didn't quite hit the mark. Like this is the offer you can give them. Hey, instead of getting your money back and you leaving, we can take that money and put it towards a 12-month program. You're gonna get your money back. Okay. And that money can be back in cash, or you can put that towards future training. And so then what you can do is you can pitch this as a 3-month tutoring for free.
So that's the offer. And then of course we want to, you know, if they don't, then we'll keep them in the 12-month program so we can get them to where they need to be.
So now that $1,000 is coming out of a $6,000 12-month program. You can just be honest, be like, hey, we want to make sure they get there, so we're gonna give you the rest of the 12 months and we'll just roll whatever you pay, the $1,000 a day, into that. So what we do, for example, at the gym, same model, we have a lot of fixed costs, not a lot of variable costs. We're going to get them in for a 6-week challenge. If you lose 20 pounds, we give you your $400 back, and you can either A, keep doing what you've been doing in the past, which hasn't been working, or stay on with us, put that $400 towards a $1,200 package.
He's like, when a parent says no, you don't like try to fight for the sale. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to bend your arm for you to know your kid needs support. Like, you reached out to us and I'm telling you this is it. And I'm thinking, that's too salesy. I don't want to be that person.
Look, I understand when you're trying to sell customers and you're trying to get more jobs, it can come across as salesy. But it's only salesy if you have bad intention and it's going to do harm to the person you're selling to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not trying to trick you. Look, we're the experts. You're coming to us for help, and this is what we can do.
If you actually believe in your heart of hearts that the product or service that you're selling is the best option and going to be the best for the customer that you're selling to, it's your duty and your obligation, if you care for that person, to make sure they come to a buying conclusion.
Like there's 2 ways to fix a problem. One, like let's use the health example. One, you can sell someone supplements and say, hey, if you use it for the next 6 to 12 months, it'll make you better. Yeah. Or you can spend 100 times as much and get surgery and immediately have liposuction and solve the problem very quickly. All of a sudden, they're willing to pay 100 times more. And in the past, I feel like what we've been selling at Mathnasium is like supplements. Like, we will make your kid better. I want to say we will raise their grade by 1 in 3 months. Guaranteed. Remove all risk that potentially might not happen. I think that's a stronger offer. Yeah. And people are willing to pay a premium price for that versus giving free assessments and then you're feeling like you're trying to sell them into this thing.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, because you're selling supplements. It doesn't feel good to sell supplements. Versus like, I guarantee this result, we will track this and we will make this happen.
Yeah, my brain is like, overload, but it's exciting. I think.
To break it down, make it simple, it's 2 things, right? We are trying to increase the number of leads by telling your story, by pushing them towards a guaranteed result instead of just like a supplement we hope things work out.
So everything goes back to the leads.
100%. Money solves everything.
That's right.
And then the secondary part is retention, and that is making sure that our team members are incentivized to get more butts in seats.
I love my instructors. I mean, we hire math people, right? They have to know math. And we've also learned that our people just can't know math. They have to be able to teach math.
Very hard.
And so sometimes the engagement piece or the fun factor that the students want is not always there.
I think there's two things we have to fix. One is the getting new leads, getting sales, and I think that is with a great offer. And then you got to fix the retention, like having people here that are incentivized to retain those customers from leaving out the back door. And then you just got to align incentives with them.
I always say the kids are the least of our problems. All they want is food and fun. Food and fun. Give them some chips and cookies. Yeah. What about the fun factor? The fun piece.
I feel like as long as you give training to your instructors of how to do that and why it aligns with keeping more people in their sessions, they will do it. Right now, there's no incentive for them to keep more people in their sessions. So if you're like, hey, make it fun, they're like, well, if I make it fun, that means I have to teach 4 people instead of 2. I prefer doing 2, it's easier. And I get paid the same amount.
Even when we lose a student and the instructors don't care, actually they would prefer to have less than 4.
Whereas if like, here's the tools and techniques you can use to keep 4 people in your session. Let's make this fun. Here's the 5 ways you can make this more interactive. But align incentives with them. That way you're all speaking the same language. Because right now you feel like you're just trying to micromanage their behavior. Exactly. They feel like, well, why would I listen to them? Just align incentives. We want full sessions.
Here at Anytime Fitness with the team, they get incentivized based upon supplement sales, training, and they get a percentage of profits every single month. At Augusta Lawn Care, for our team out in the field, we pay them a percentage of all the labor revenue. That's what they earn. It's called pay for performance. They also get a profit share at the end of every quarter.
Here at Copilot, they're pretending like they're working hard, but their pay is also affected by the churn rate. How many of our customers are staying with us? Their entire pay structure is based on that.
I don't mind paying the team, but it gotta make sense. Like, I'm not gonna pay you to sit, or sometimes students don't show up, and then I'll see on the camera the instructor just sitting there, or the table. Like, I walked in, I was like, even before I walked in, I saw the sticky thing on the outside, and I'm like, what in the world? And then I'm like, you guys are coming in. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't have time to clean.
It's great, it's good.
But it's like, they don't see that, you know?
But we're not incentivizing it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
we cannot blame team members
true.
if they're not incentivized
That's
for it.
true. So how do I come up with this plan of how much, like, I don't know what to do with this
So there's several ways.
incentivizing.
You can do it in a more granular way by going every single session, right? And that's like, hey, if you have 4 people in your session, you make more per hour. So if it's 15, let's call it $25 an hour, right? So hey, you're gonna make $25 an hour if your session is full. It's gonna be $15 per hour if it is less than 4. So that's the harder way. You're gonna have some way to track each session, etc. Now, here's an easier way. Simply the number of students in the center. Hey, at 25 students, you're gonna make X amount. At 50, you're gonna make X amount. At 75, you're gonna make X amount. And you literally walk them up from $15 an hour to $30 an hour in their pay based on how many students are here.
I know one of the things I keep playing in my head is rewarding everybody for a few people. I'm still struggling with that. I know Mike says, you know, do it, it's better that way, that's the easiest way. There's some that do more than others, right? With any business. I'm struggling because I'm like, I don't want to reward the one that's not gonna put in the effort from the effort of the one that will do it. Like, I'm trying to figure out, how do I reward the right one and not the one that's not gonna do anything? So that's every instructor.
Yep.
But what if three instructors are doing a great job on that, but one instructor is not?
Guess who's gonna tell you that?
The other 3.
Yeah. They will be watching each other because they want the overall number of students in this building to go up. And they'll know, like, hey, when they're at 45 and they know at 50 they unlock $2 to $3 more per hour, guess what they're gonna be doing? Hey, I saw your other kid, does he wanna come in here? Like, they'll switch into that mode. They'll think more like an owner.
Which means we probably need to keep renewal dates on that spreadsheet where they can see as well.
If you can. I would imagine this, you guys have like a CRM, right?
Yeah, we do.
Right, I'm imagining in there they could see that, right?
No, we restrict certain access to the instructors, but we could
Open it up.
open it up or
As
just
much
have
as
it
possible.
on us.
As much as you possibly can. I'd be trying to let them see as much as possible. Because now we're aligning their incentives and ours, which is more butts in seats. And more butts in seats means more money for them, means more money for us. And then we have a really good option to whether we sell this thing for a bunch of money or to be able to keep it and it run really well.
I mean, he hit it on the head, right? With, of course, the pay, but I feel like, especially with this generation, what I've heard was the millennials want more purpose. You don't gotta pay me $50,000. You can pay me $20,000, but I'm making impact.
And show the numbers. Like, I would show your profit and loss statement with your team. I know that's really like, it seems scary, but like now they'll actually be like, oh, like for all they know, this is the thought process that goes through their head. You're making money hand over fist, and you're not doing anything. So like, if that's not the case, share that with them. When you see me here, like I'm basically volunteering.
And so with my staff, when I look at them, I don't get the sense that it's money related, but it's more of the purpose. How do I incentivize them beyond the money? Yeah, we can do the hourly thing. I don't mind paying them more. But there has to also be something that's gonna hit that purpose meter in their heart, because I feel like that's more of what they want. I just don't know how to do that for them.
And like, do they know your story? Like, why would we expect them to actually pour into these children the same way you want them to without knowing your story? The whole reason this place exists. Take everything we've talked about off the table. If you just got in front of 2 parties, 1 online local moms and 2 your instructors, and just told your story, that'd be huge. That'd move 50% of what we're talking about today.
And it's crazy, I got this advice when we opened, share your story. And I was like, oh, people don't really, I was just too busy on trying to get open. And I was like, people don't really want to hear that.
That's what these instructors, that's what they're dying to have, is some purpose.
And part of the purpose, and they'll literally say it like, I just want to give back to the community, or I used to struggle in math when I was younger and now I'm a statistician. Like so those type of people is like, okay, you know it's more than just $15 an hour when you could be making $25 down the street. What are your thoughts, and we can use the gym, on the long term, like the 12-month? We don't call them contracts, we say agreements.
Yeah, same thing. I know the drill.
We have a 7-month and a 12-month agreement. Yep. And then, like I said, the month to month, you can do that, but you're gonna pay a hefty premium for that. Do you think we should keep that, or just get rid of all that and do the 3-month guarantee? Or
how we look at it is, so I like the 3-month thing. I would use that as an introductory offer. And so you can't do 3 months and 3 months and 3 months. Like it's a one-time offer to get in, and then at the end of that 3 months, you either convert into a 12-month, or you get your money back because we didn't hit the results and you're unhappy with us, right? But you're only getting your money back if you followed the whole system. And we know if they follow the whole system, they're gonna get results and they're gonna be happy. And I would incentivize that very heavily. I'm sure they do that with the pricing.
Well, pricing, how do you know you're priced properly?
When people are saying no enough.
But then how do I know I'm not overpriced?
Yemisi is concerned that her prices are scaring away customers. The only reason someone won't buy from you because of price is because value is lower than the price that you're charging. Ultimately, how do I make sure that the customer actually sees the value of my product and service instead of taking the easiest path of least resistance, which is just lowering price, which will always lead to a race to the bottom.
You simply want to track 3 things. 1, how many people show up to your appointments, like what percentage of them. When they book a call with you, what percentage of them show. Then what percentage of them do you actually make an offer to, because they did the assessment, you're actually giving them an offer. And then what percentage of them actually close.
So most of them, when they sign up for the Zoom, they make it.
Most of them, like 75%, you think?
Yeah, I would say maybe 80. We have
80?
a good, like once they get on that calendar.
80% people show up?
Most don't enroll.
Got it.
Most say, oh, this is more than I thought.
So that's your close. Okay, so you basically, anyone that signs up, you are pitching them.
Yes.
Okay, let's just make this 2 things. Okay, so it's show rate, and then it's how much we close, right? So show rate, we're like at 80%. Of those people that show up, do you think 10% sign up?
I would say maybe 20, maybe 15.
Okay, so then it's just a matter of tracking these numbers. Because what I want to see is like when you change your pitch, what happens to that number?
What gets measured gets managed. And so there's no way to manage the numbers if we don't measure them.
When we go from, we're trying to sell them this 7-month thing, and we go to a 3-month, does that go from 20% to 50%?
Oh, we do the 3 months.
When we do the guarantee, where does it go? I believe you putting the guarantee will more than like double that close ratio, because it takes away the risk. Because in the back of their mind, it's not just the money, it's the fact that maybe this doesn't work and it takes a bunch of my time and my kid doesn't get the results they're looking for. We'll just eliminate that. The way you build that offer stack, it's called, is like very important. I do everything you're currently doing and then have a slide that says, let's address the elephant in the room. And that is that maybe your kid doesn't improve. Let's address the elephant in the room that maybe they don't get results and they don't improve at all. If that happens and you follow our system, we'll give you all your money back. So what's your credit card information? Like, let's go. I wanna sell them on that call.
Yeah.
I do not wanna send them a link and tell them, sometime today, get this filled out. Because I bet, I'm just gonna go on a limb.
To get more sales when we used to do it manually.
I'm gonna guess that when you send that link, half the people you think are gonna sign up don't.
They don't, and they'll forget, or the link expires, and now we gotta resend, and it.
So this is what it looks like. Hey, scan this QR code on your screen with your phone, pay the $1,000 right now. Great, as soon as that's paid, I'm watching, great, yeah, it came through. I'm sending you a link right now with your contract to sign it. But the $1,000 package, like whatever, like for you it's like $1,200 to $1,300 right now. If we call it a $1,000 package though, that is simply the cost to cover the cost of fulfillment, which is your time. Sorry, not fulfillment, but the cost of selling. So think of it like this. I'm not trying to sell them a 3-month thing. I'm trying to sell them a 12-month thing.
Right.
I'm just hooking them in with this 3-month thing.
Okay.
Because if I can get them a grade level ahead during summer, I'm just looking to pitch them and I'll have all sorts of ammunition. Be like, hey, we got them in 3 months ahead by 1 grade. Now they're caught up. Why don't we put them ahead 1 grade? And let's sign a 12-month and make sure that they actually get ahead in school now. Because they've just seen the results of 3 months. The $1,000 isn't the lifetime value. That is simply the bait on the hook to the 12-month. And getting them on $7,000 or $8,000. So on the Zoom, it's like, hey everyone, you share your screen, that QR code, just scan it with your phone and go ahead and put your payment information in. That's gonna be $1,000. As soon as I get that, and I'm waiting for you, because they all just said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Great, I'm waiting for you, great. I'm gonna hold them accountable, all paying. I'll send you the link, and that contract is going to have the $1,000 already put on it, and it's paid for.
Like people wanna know, what am I paying, like me, you're not gonna get money out of me without me reading the contract.
Yeah.
Like I wanna read the contract and then I pay the money, because what if there's things in there that you don't agree with?
Great, if you want, I'll give you your money back. I offered last weekend, if anyone wants their money back for any reason whatsoever, once they get their full 100-page franchise agreement, I'll give you your money back. No one asked for a refund. Because I spent an hour and a half going over everything. I was very clear, built trust with them. I told my story, they built trust with me. And then your contract's you're not trying to hide anything.
It is, I mean, most
You're being honest.
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to scam people.
I actually tell them, read the contract, like everything is in there.
Yeah, and you can literally just be like, if you read it and you want your money back, just let me know.
Yeah.
If someone's like, well, I don't want to pay, I want to read the contract. No, like this offer applies only while we're on the call. Feel free to scan it, pay it, and I will refund you for whatever reason if you read the contract and you don't like it.
So is the offer truly for those?
Only on the call, because the only way you can get that offer is to scan that QR code.
So how many people would you recommend, like the max parents at a time?
I'd max out at 4.
Okay, that's what we do.
Right? And then I would probably say that once you start closing 80% of people, you're like, one-on-one isn't so bad. I can close them all way better.
Yeah, when more money start rolling in, I don't.
Right?
You know, things shift when you got the ching.
Ching helps.
It does.
So I think it's a matter of eventually you might want to go back to one-on-one because you're like, I can close 80 to 90% on a one-on-one with this deal and this offer versus maybe 50 or 60% if they're in a group. So now it's worth your time. But I do think that for now, to keep it simple, just drive them the same exact way you're currently doing it. On that, it's like sharing your screen. It's gonna have a QR code. It's gonna go $1,000. Pay this today. It's only valid for this call.
Now, let's say they don't enroll that day, but then tomorrow they want to enroll.
The offer's not on table.
So now what's the new offer?
Our typical offer is 7 months and 12 months.
So if mom yesterday wasn't ready, but she's ready today and says, okay, I want to pay for the 3 months, I say no?
Yeah. Because on the call, you made it very clear this offer is only valid today.
But what if she doesn't want 7 or 12? What if she wants to do the 3?
Well, sorry. That's how you create actual
Sorry.
scarcity with an offer. And then your pitch, like this is something that down the road, if you go this way and starting to work, your pitch on that call is important, right? Like building the value. Don't start with like, this is Mathnasium and how Mathnasium started. This is me. This is how Mathnasium came into my life, how it changed my life. Here's why I'm doing it, why I'm so passionate about it. That's gonna resonate with people so much more. Start with your story, move to the offer, and then make the call to action. The story, offer, call to action.
A lot of shifts.
You gotta remember this.
A lot of
Like, you
shifts.
gotta go back to how you felt as a parent when your daughter all of a sudden caught up. All of a sudden turned everything around. What was that worth to you? A lot more than $1,000.
No, it's crazy because when we were looking, I didn't care the cost.
No.
I did not care. I was like, my baby has to get back to her age.
100%.
So I told my husband, I said, hey babe, I'm looking. And he was like, okay, whatever. And so when I found it, I was like, this is how much. He was like, do you think it's gonna work? I said, yeah. He said, do it. Like there was no hesitation.
And so now you're thinking about prices and it's too expensive for people and I don't know if I want to go after the people that can't really afford it and all this stuff. They don't care about the cost.
What I've learned, I think opening, I thought cater to the folks that don't have a lot of money. But this type of business in this area, you can't do that. We gotta cater to the wealthy, but then get so much from the wealthy that we can now give it at a different rate to the non-wealthy. That's what I've learned in this whole endeavor. My mindset has shifted that if there's a way, like I want it to be a higher value because those people don't care, like you said about the cost.
Right.
They will pay.
They're the
a lot.
liposuction people.
Exactly.